Latest edition of the Fortnightly live Q&A. We've got a very special guest with us tonight, and she's already on. We've got another special guest. He'll be joining us in about half an hour. Hello, General Manager. Hello, babe. Hello, lovely wife. What's going on?
Hello there from the other end of the house.
Yes, we are. This is going to be a good little activity for people to get an insight into just what goes on to running a business between a husband and wife. Hey. Rest assured, everyone, there's still more than just us at Axon. But I thought, let's just have an opportunity for Tammy to.
I haven't been on for ages. I used to be a regular occurrence, and then life happens and to have both of us on here every week and then fortnightly was a little bit much. So I did have a little hiatus, but it's great to be back. It's I'm excited for tonight.
Yes,
we do have a special guest coming on a little bit later, who I have a connection with. So that's a bit exciting as well.
Indeed.
And yeah, I'm excited to be back and engage. I mean, I always sit behind the camera and chat away with everyone. I love the engagement that all of our amazing clients and fans sort of type in there, but it's nice to be on this side of the camera for a change.
As a general manager and accounts manager and HR manager and marketing manager and pretty much the manager of me, then I know that, Tammy, you don't really get the little dopamine hit that I get anyway, as far as like talking to clients go. So yeah, I know it's gonna be really cool. Jai Simmons is in the house. Angie Paradise from down south. What's that? Palm Beach. Kent Herman's in the house. Hello, sir. CJ Wynn's in the house. Natalie Louise is in the house. Nicole Hotto's in the house. Some guy called Dan's in the house. Amanda Lewis is in the house. There she is. Hello.
Oh,
okay,
hi.
I know. How good indeed. And what have you?
Hello to Nicole. Thanks for the welcome back.
Yes, love it. Mickey Gallen is in the house. I need to talk to you, Mick, in the next couple of days. I know there's been some correspondence going back and forward there. I want to give you some back channel heads up there. Luke Millwood from the Gold Coast is dialing in. Yo, Sophie Groves in the Turners as well. Lots of love coming our way. Hey, babe, tell everyone what we did for Anzac Day. And happy Anzac Day to everybody that was out there. Hello, yes. Jen Gaylor dialing in as well.
Yes. Oh, I believe she's just had knee surgery. I hope you're feeling okay. Well. That was today, I think. So Anzac Day, we did our dawn service here at Southport. It proceeded to piss down on the way back home.
No, they had about 5 minutes to go as they were demounting the catafalque party. It was like fucking Forrest Gump sideways rain coming in, wasn't it?
It was so bad. And we laid a wreath there at the cenotaph, and we had a few of the team there and a few family members as well. It's always such a beautiful day to get the Axon extended family together, a couple of clients, the wonderful Deb turned up. It's always a beautiful day, Anzac Day, with us and the Axon crew.
And then some B&E roles, didn't we?
We went back to the office. We proceeded to accidentally set off all of the fire alarms. So we had a visit from the fire brigade as well. That was a bit of a laugh. Nice.
There's me smacking cans. This is like 8 a.m. We've been back up there since 6:30. I'm 15 drinks deep at 8:30 a.m. And he's looking at me going, what the fuck?
And then you guys were offering them beers. You want a beer?
Of course.
Oh, God.
Of course.
Anyway, and then, had bacon and egg rolls for everyone and lots of drinks. I actually toodalooed out of there by 10 a.m. because I had to keep the fort going the next day.
Yes.
It wasn't a public holiday the next day like it has been the last few years.
It was for me.
So, yes, Robbie had the day off. I think quite a number of the team had requested the day off.
Nothing wrong with that.
But, yeah, it was a long day for some of you. It was a great day, though.
Tammy, what else I want to share tonight with you is our own experience. So you and I are building our own home.
Yeah.
You and I have been doing so now for, well, about a year, coming up on a year, and we were due to go in next month. Now, I know, so from an Axon perspective, so we've got our own home going on from you and I living as a married couple, not at work, come to work, put our Axon shirts on, and Axon's got about 100 builds that we're managing across a few different locations, of which, ladies and gents, a grand total of fucking 0 are going 100% to plan. Right? And I'm not shouting from the rooftops going, yeah, isn't that fucking awesome? No, it's not awesome at all. But I guess it's a really important thing for you and I to share, that you and I sign a lease right now. We're living in temporary accommodation. We're due to move out next month based on our lease, because that's when we were due to move into our house. And what did we get notified last week?
That our house build has been extended by about 5.5 months.
So now they're talking October, November-ish, somewhere down the track there.
And our current landlord wants to move back in, so that's why
we've been booted.
We're having to move.
Listen in, ladies and gents. So this is on. I know there's plenty of people listening that are not even in the chat right now that are wondering, why the fuck isn't my house built yet, and what's taking so long, and this is now costing me bloody, it's costing me more money, and it's costing me more stress, and the expectations of when I was going to move in is fucking not very, good.
Yeah,
so
and
I guess
especially for those that had previously built before, because for a small house, sometimes these are taking 4, 5, 6 months, and now to take in excess of 12 months, and I guess past experiences, and we've been in the same boat, thinking that things are going to happen a lot quicker than they were, and you can't. These are things you just can't help.
We bought furniture. The furniture arrived. We've had to put the furniture in storage. That's costing us extra money. So I guess I just want to just share our own personal story from a vulnerability perspective. And I'm not bragging here, but if you think you're paying a few extra $100 on your mortgage a month, you don't want to fucking know how much we're paying on extra interest on our own bloody mortgage a month, and that's not your problem. That's mine. But yeah, it's certainly.
Yeah, so we got told to order all of our furniture a long time ago, because it was going to take 5, 6, 7 months to come in. So we did that, and then we got some of the furniture places to hold it, but then they couldn't hold it for that much longer. So our storage unit is pretty full.
CJ Wynn, I'm not joking, brother. I thought of you. I'm like, I might need to fucking come and sleep out at Ripley. Like, I got no choice. We've got nowhere else. But luckily, very, very luckily, and it's just like, it's the last time we're ever going to have to do it, because you and I are building our dream home. It's like my terminal posting, as far as that goes. The 9 moves I've done out of defense after 24 years in defense. I don't even fucking know how many that was. Gordon Spooner, I loved the chat with you guys last night, mate. I'm working on your plan as we speak, not literally, but fucking straight away. Very, very. So you and I went to an open home. So we went and experienced that again in 2022. There was 10 other couples walking through this house. Everyone's eyeballing each other, going, "Oh yeah, fucking what's going on here?" I felt like bloody grabbing a couple and bloody asking them to pick a window. You're leaving, but I didn't. But yeah, very almost like that morning, we found out that there's one of your friends that's moving out of her house, which just happened to synchronize with the same time we need to move in. And we pretty much got a house to move into, and it's going to be stress-free. Thank fuck.
Yeah,
it's going to cost us a few grand, of course, to make it happen. But yeah, crazy.
So, my girlfriend it's just so happened that she's breaking her lease. So we're taking over her lease and then signing another lease, and we'll have to break that lease whenever who knows if we will break the lease or we'll need it till January. But just one of those sliding door moments, and it just happened to work out for us. So we're very, very lucky at the moment, because thankfully we didn't have to go to too many inspections and open homes, and so 99%. I still haven't signed a bloody lease.
Still haven't signed the lease, bro. Jen Gaylor said, "Oh no, major stress for you guys, Benny Hinton, mate. This is the only mindset and outlook you can have, no matter if you're building your own home dream home, intimate investment, first house, 10th house. Benny, what you're saying here, brother, is exactly the case. You can't do much about it. You've just got to keep on trucking. 100%.
And we do live like that in so many, like we run a business together, multiple investment properties. These like things happen all the time. When you've got a number of staff happening, like, there's when you've got dealing with as many clients, with as many delays, with multiple builders, suppliers, all these things, like there's always stuff going on.
Yeah,
and
you don't want to, our life is fucked actually sometimes. We're like, what's the next crisis and what's the next crisis? But you know what? When you believe in who we are and what we're doing, and like I have conversations with you, Gordon, and a bunch of other people that I've spoke to, like it's so fucking crazy the amount of inquiry we're getting still right now about how many people want to be able to use our services and get a house under their belt. It's like they're almost like, we don't care about the delays. The housing market's going up, and like if it takes 12 months to build a house, who cares? I'm like, fuck, that's good. That's a good way of looking at it from the start. And of course, the guest is going to come and join us soon. He and his partner, they built a house together, and they actually, whilst they were in the storm of the delays, they were able to navigate their way through it and actually get through it pretty okay. And I don't want to bang the drum going, it's all good with everybody, but like it's almost like it's a shitty story that turned out really, really well. So, it's so critical. Luke Millwood said, in 3 years, it'll be the levels of success we are focused on, not the bumps in the road. Yes. Oh, mate, that's just so good.
Very true. And we do reflect on that. We just a few months ago, we had our 5th birthday, and even to celebrate that, I think, there's a lot of businesses that don't make it to 5 years. So
most don't, in fact.
Yeah. So to have, and that's definitely not been smooth sailing that whole time. We've definitely learned a whole bunch of lessons. Unfortunately, even if you do study business, there's no experience like being in it. Like you learn things as you go. I'm super proud of where we've come, and we wouldn't be where we are without all those lessons. So you win or you learn.
Yes, 100%. Nicky Otto said it would have been nice for them to tell you a few months ago. Yeah, look, Nick, it was one of those things. We got word from the site supervisor, who's a lovely guy, quietly spoken, very articulate, always got his iPad electronic, like he's fucking zooming in and out, like he's on the ball. He goes, oh, yeah, it should be another, like, what did he say, babe, 16 or 20 weeks?
12 to 16 weeks, and that was in March. So that would have extended us to July, either the first or the last week of July. So we were still like, okay, we would only need to extend our lease by a couple of weeks. We could do that.
Well, Jen Gailey, you don't want me to write a book, mate. Actually, if it was me and Tammy writing a book together, it'd be the PG version, but I'll keep the book that's in here probably on the shelf for a few years. I've got my 10-year anniversary of me separating from the military coming up next year. I'm thinking about doing something special. So watch this space. And Tammy's hearing this for the first time. True story.
Oh, God. Here we go.
My mum's on board. Hey, Mum. Hey, guys. Great to see you and to take on board your professional advice. So, thank you, Mum. It's fucking so good.
CJ said we signed up again. No hesitation. Love you guys.
Of course. CJ, I have not forgotten about you, buddy. Luke from You Know Where, he's organising you know what in you know where. So, mate, rest assured I've got that absolutely covered for you. Tammy, let's talk about what happened overnight in the finance space.
Oh,
yesterday afternoon.
My dad came and stayed.
Yes, he did. Yes, we don't need to.
Sorry, I was not tracking what you were talking about.
Craigie, you bloody legend. Benny Hinton, this is very true, mate. She mostly hears things for the first time when I'm telling you all. So it's no drama. Mickey Galliner, I absolutely want to try and get up there for the Townsville V8s, mate. Can you please remind me when they're on? I think it like late June or something. Can you just let me know when that is? So yeah, Tam.
You always try and put them in the calendar and try
Mate,
and
it's fucking madness.
it hasn't worked out lately, but
well, to be fair, I pretty much took it out of the calendar because I thought that's around about the time we'll be moving into our new house. So to be fair, sorry, Mick, I would have prioritised finally moving into my dream home and not going to bloody Townsville. I know, and Nikki Woodham saying, I've bloody heard this for a few years now. Nikki, you're not even down there, mate. You're down in Singo now, so it's like bloody cross paths. Tammy, we've been hearing sort of in the ops room there, a lot of people have sort of been reaching out as far as what's going on from an interest rates,
interest rates went up 0.25%.
Yes, so that when the base rate went up by 25 basis points to 0.35, so 0.35 of 1% is the current base rate interest. And obviously the bank's buddy pass it on from there. So I'd love to let's just sort of talk about it.
And I did hear this afternoon all four. NAB was the last to implement that, and now all four have put it up.
Yeah, fucking. If I was them, I'd be doing it too because it's been sitting on the bottom for a long fucking time.
I think it's the first one in a decade, wasn't it? The first increase.
Benny Hinson, I am free. Sorry, I'm not being rude, team. I am free on the 8th to the 10th of July. I am chucking it in the calendar. RFN.
I think we're...
Townsville V8s. I am in.
Were you away the next weekend? Maybe.
Not that I can see. We are up at Stanthorpe from the 22nd of July. Fuck, that's going to be cold up there. We're going up to the hills, basically overlook the border down that way, I should say. On the 22nd through the 25th of July.
I have to tell you guys why I booked it. It's
a
pet-friendly little accommodation, and they give doggy robes for the dogs and little beds and little snack packs, and they got a nice fireplace, and they got wine tours that you can take your dogs on. So,
Tammy, can you let everyone know what it's called? What's it called?
So we're staying at Allure at Stanthorpe.
Yeah,
it's the place called, and then the separate wine tour.
Yes, so Allure up in Stanthorpe for all you dog lovers that are in the sort of northern New South Wales and/or Queensland region.
Little bathrooms.
Go check it out. I was like, oh, what's this fucking place? It's like looks okay, and it's up in Stanthorpe, so it's in the fucking sort of middle of nowhere.
You guys will love it.
But as soon as I saw one of the dogs in a robe, I'm like, book it. We're going. Because this little fella can't be fucking freezing cold if he's got to be up there doing stuff. So, Dan, I say, let's hear it. RT, how will interest rate rises affect sentiment and property prices in 2023 and beyond? Simo from Dave's Dogs is joining us, and of course, he says that's going to be approved as well.
I thought you would.
We sort of spoke about this a few weeks ago when there was the first few sentiments coming through. There's a few things for it. So like a Robbie-initiated holiday, sort of. And Apple Orchard at Stanthorpe, best apple pie and ice cream. Please take a screen.
Your name all over
screen capture of that, someone. Tammy fucking hates apple pie. I love it. So I'm all over that, CJ. So let's talk about interest rates and stuff for a second. Don't distract me about dogs or fucking fingers in apple pies for the next few minutes, please. Whilst I'm talking about interest rates. Interest rates so it's all about perspective. When I joined the industry 9 years ago, and you're like, oh, fucking who cares about 9 years ago? Well, I do, because it's all about perspective, right? Interest rates have been at their lowest levels fucking ever on the bottom of the interest rate scale for the better part of 2 years. I think it's 18 or 19 months since there was the last change. So put that into perspective. When your mortgage broker, Deb, for 90% of the people here have crunched your numbers on how much you can safely borrow or what the banks are willing to lend you. And as you know, in real terms for an investment loan right now, you get like high 2s or low 3s. Let's just call it 3%. The banks have automatically added 2.5% loading as their buffer to the assessment rate on whether you can borrow that amount of money safely based on your assets, liabilities, ingoings, outgoings, et cetera, what your balance sheet looks like. So the last thing that, like, if you have had a responsible mortgage broker, of which all of you that have used Deb have, write a loan for you, and you've been running the same amount of balance sheet and money habits and money mindset you had when you approached her for finance, i.e. you fucking haven't been doing these ones all the time, the last thing you should be doing is worrying about a 0.25% of 1% rise in interest rates when the banks applied a 2.5% interest rate buffer to your lending criteria in the first place.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. However, if you have been fucking spending money like it's going out of fashion, and then you probably haven't been in the same financial position, then that ain't on the banks, ladies and gents. That's on you to sort your shit out, to go back to put yourself in the position of where the good money mindset and money habits are. If you are building a property, thinking about getting a property, have already got a property, you don't like take your foot off the pedal and go, oh, fucking sweet, property sitting over there doing itself. Let's go fucking spend a whole lot of money. You've got to maintain your cash buffer. You've got to maintain your money mindset and your money habits to, if you need to put the squeeze on for a little bit, then you can easily do it because you've got those atomic habits going on there. I haven't seen that video, CJ, but yeah, mate, even if you can find it and fucking dump it in the chat here, that'd be really, really handy, mate. That'd be gold.
He did share it on his Facebook today. I saw he'll have it.
And when
also,
running my fucking schedule, I'm not on Facebook during the day.
Especially for those with investment properties, the rental increase for a lot of those properties has gone up. Definitely
Correct.
More than that 0.25% is going to cost.
Correct. So it's not just about how much you're being charged on your mortgage. You got to look at your overall picture. I spoke to the lovely Greg and Mel today. Greg's done 33 years in the Navy. They came to us when they're in their late 40s going, fuck, what do we do? They probably didn't say fuck, but they're like, what do we do? And they're like, is it too late? Have we missed the boat to be able to try and get a loan? I'm like, no. You guys have got some equity in a property in Cairns that you used to live in back in the day when Greg was bloody posted up there. Let's go and buy your first investment property. Boom, boom, boom. They got $480 a week rent for that property. And they paid $530,000 for it.
Nice.
About 2 years ago. So that's called 2.5 years ago when they took it off the market, finished building it 2 years ago. They're now about to get $640 a week rent for it, and it's worth $750,000.
Ding, ding,
They've
ding.
since already built another one with us that they paid $540 for, which is now worth $700. And they get about $100 a week extra on that when the rent ticks over in September this year as well.
Nice.
So it's so easy, Dan and others that have asked about interest rate rises. It's so easy. Nicky Otto, you're fucking too fast, mate. Don't watch that right now, ladies and gents. Keep fucking watching this and that being that girl there, Benny Hinton. This guy and that girl. The doom and gloom portrayal, as you took the words right out of my mouth, mate, will absolutely affect the average punter's perspective on property investing. But you know what, Luke Millwood, to answer your question, when it's so fucking hard to get any blocks in any master plan communities right now, I would prefer a little bit of the demand and the heat to come out of the market so things can fucking settle down a little bit. Because there's still a lack of suppliers. There's still a lack of trades. There's still fucking 18,000 homes in Queensland that need to be fixed from the floods. There's still so much that goes into the dynamics of the construction industry as a whole. I would be totally fine if it just calms fucking down a little bit out there. And I had a chat today with the wonderful Shad today. And he goes, but what about the overall sentiment of the property market? Remember, team, there's not one property market across the country. There's hundreds of little micro markets. What's going on, CJ, in your own home in Ripley near Raff Base Hamley has got nothing to do with what's going on in Darwin, which has got nothing to do with what's going on in Melbourne, for instance, if I fucking spread them even further. So it's all about where you've bought, what's going on in the dynamics and the seven ingredients to a healthy property market in that location, and what's going on for the future prospects of that location, dare I say it, underneath the umbrella of the overall region. So if you're bought in Southeast Queensland, in my opinion, you are bulletproof for years and years and years to come. There's never been so much interstate migration. There's never been so much infrastructure being placed in. There's this small thing, I don't know, with some rings in it called the Olympics, which is fucking happening in 10 years' time. Yes, fucking blink your eyes a few times as a 50-year-old soon, and it'll be fucking 10 years down the track. Fucking imagine me as a 60-year-old. I can't wait. So yeah, like there's a few things into it. Quite a few people have reached out to us and or Deb going, hey, we're about to start building a house. When can we lock in the interest rate for a fixed rate? Doesn't work like that. Banks don't allow fixed construction loans. You can only look at doing a fixed rate on your loan after the build is finished. So you're at the whim of whatever the variable loan rate's going to be during construction. I'll go back 8 minutes ago. It's probably 12, but it feels like 8 for me. When I started this little rant, the bank put a 2.5% buffer on your ability to service it. And that's them being ultra conservative. So if you feel like you can't service that loan anymore, unfuck your own spending habits and stop wasting money on shit, because the bank said at that time you can do it at, not 3%, at 5.5%. And we're a fucking long way from 5.5%, let me tell you.
And I think, like as Dan's kind of commenting, the election stuff you're going to be hearing, they never talk about really what they're doing. They more talk about how much the other person is a loser. Yeah, it's so annoying because you never really know what the parties actually stand for.
What's the policy?
But at the same time, I think it's really important to keep your mindset, your accents focused on, I guess not getting too brainwashed on the whole current affairs spin. Like there's 1 week's going to be the dodgy tradie, the next week's going to be your budget shopping supermarket savings, and then they're going to do a banking special and how this bloody interest rate is going to cost people their homes, and the doom and gloom sort of thing. They have this absolute like media cycle that that they continuously go through, and they suck you into this negative sort of mindset. And it's really important to, as you said, it's such a small amount, but people catastrophize it because of the way that the media portrays it, and huge headlines, and just spelling it out like it's like people are gonna absolutely, it's gonna be the end of the world, when really if people look at the details and use some common sense, then it's not as dire as a current affair.
People are like, oh, the economy's fucked. There's bloody, there's no stimulus. Like, we need to bloody put more money in the economy and spend more money on infrastructure. That's happened over the last year or so. And now the economy's going so well, they need to raise interest rates to bring it back to balance a little bit. Like between 2 and 3% is the average good inflation. Has been like that in Australia for fucking donkey's years. Now that it's pinging at about 5% at the moment, they need to make things a little bit more expensive to pay off and or buy, to then stop people spending money so much. So it's a fucking seesaw, like my seesaw. It's a seesaw that I would fucking hate to be able to try and balance. There's the things like, you can't go, oh, ScoMo, the economy's fucked. We don't have any growth. At the same time going, ScoMo, you prick, you've got to raise interest rates because the economy's booming. You can't have it both ways. Like, it's fucking just like madness when it comes to bloody people and their opinions.
Is my sound echoing? Because I can hear you absolutely.
I've got the window open too. The fucking prick's down to level 65. Probably going to make a complaint. I don't give a fuck. I'm leaving soon. Mr. Grigor, you are on in 2 minutes, brother. We're bringing you in. Hey, you and I got this saying, haven't we, babe? When we want to build the biggest and best business in this industry for our community, we got two choices.
Yeah.
We can tear everyone else's business down, and I'll fucking call it out if I see it.
And then we're the biggest and the best.
Or we can just build the fucking biggest and the best business and be, who gives a fuck what anyone else is doing. Guess right. Which one we adopt. Please, everyone, write the latter, right? What do the politicians do? They don't get on there. Actually, Heston Russell's the only one that does. Good mate of mine. I'm not here fucking banging that drum. I'm not into fucking politics, sex, and or religion. Actually, I like one of them, and I'm not Christian. But all they do is fucking go, Albanese, you're a prick. ScoMo, you're a fucking failure. Like, they don't actually tell me what your fucking party is doing. They just try and fucking tear everyone else down. Like, I don't even know how the fucking ACCC allow that fucking tripe to be on our fucking TVs most nights, because how the fuck do I know? You just don't vote for the biggest prick. That's the overall sentiment that we're fucking being fed right now. It's
like the other day, they started an ad, and I said, "Oh, here we go. Won't be easy with Albanese." And then you laughed at me like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And then 2 seconds later, they said, "Won't be easy with Albanese." I'm like, this is all they do. They just do their stupid little catch phrases, and they got ScoMo. It's not my job. Not my job. I'm like, oh, God.
You know what else I love down here at CJ? Fun fact, talking to an apprentice organisation for the young fella to start an apprenticeship, the current construction boom is committed to projects, both residential and urban or commercial, until 2036.
Whoa.
Fuck, let me tell you, ladies and gents, there is a lot of money to be made in the right property markets fucking between now and 2036. A lot. Yeah. So, and there is dozens of new little estates. You're coming on soon, Will, I promise, brother. We had breakfast with a big builder who's got big, long-standing strategic relationships with lots of developers, and there is lots of land coming soon. We're just starting to see it free up a little bit now. Last week alone, we were able to source 7 EOIs for our clients. So that's in different locations and different price points for different timelines for different everything. So, that's what it is. All right, ladies and gents, that's the end of our little live Q&A. Thank you so much for everything in there. Jen Gaylor, I'm sorry if I'm booming through your bloody speakers there too much. This gentleman that's going to join us has got his own story to tell. As Tam sort of said when we first started, they knew each other in the year BA. That's before Axon, which we'll go through shortly. I want to bring this gentleman on because he's got his own story to tell about his experience with Axon, what he thought about probably me as a person when we first started, and the journey that he and his husband went on to basically get to where they are now. I have been excited by their journey. I've been wowed by their commitment. I have loved their photos of them fucking drinking cask wine as opposed to fucking expensive bottle wine because they were so committed to get this done.
That's right.
It gives me absolutely fucking great pleasure to bring on the one, the only, the man, the moment, Mr. Will Grigor.
Woo! And a lot of the people in the chat would have seen his name there, because you are a regular on our Facebook live chat there, and definitely a big supporter of Axon.
Hello, brother. How are you?
Good. Can you guys hear me? Do I need to yell?
Coming through loud and clear, mate.
I'm a yeller on Zoom. Sorry.
No, mate. You're good. Good to go. Good to go. How are you, mate? What's going on? You're right up there in the Northern Territory this evening.
Yes, I'm doing very well. Got the aircons on in every single room, and can't wait to have a cold shower after this. So.
Mate, I love it that you're being very nice. You're being very professional. But like I assure you, like we've had some cracker chats over the years, mate. So no doubt you would have heard my little intro there. You and your amazing husband Dom, who's a serving member in the Navy. That's why you're here as a civilian, so we don't have sort of defence people on here, bloody getting in the shit for bloody defence.
I mean, when I fucking agreed to this, I thought that Dom was coming on with me, and then I get home from work today, and he's like in his gym gear, and I'm like, babe, we're going to be on in a minute, and he's like, oh, I can't, I'm serving, and I'm like, fuck you.
Guys,
okay. So now I'm just
I love this, mate. I effectively just want to, and thank you so much for being here, by the way. This is an honor and a privilege that we've got for you to be here. Your journey and your story, and like I want to be able to basically bring that to life for everyone else. Everyone else here, which is like people that we know in the chat, will absolutely resonate with it. But people that are watching this that are just sort of sitting back, still wondering about what we're all about. I can't talk about the business in the same way you can, so I can't sort of wait to hear what your story was. Try and take us back to the start.
Yeah.
How did you come across Axon? How did you stumble across us? And you can scull that wine, brother, as much as you want.
I've got wine. I'm a wine.
I'm jealous.
So I just, I made some notes here about what I was going to say, but like typical me, I'm just going to fuck that off.
You just will. Mate, I got no notes, zero.
Yeah. So the reason I personally came across you guys is obviously through Dom, but the way that happened is we decided, we were living in Perth, we were deployed over there, and we decided that we were ready to buy a home. And I had the what I think now is like the really old school way of thinking that I hadn't even considered buying a home that I wasn't going to live in and live in forever. So I had that mindset of putting a lot of pressure on the location of the home that I was buying because I had to picture myself living there for a really long time. So maybe perhaps not living, until I was elderly, because we're not going to raise kids or any of that shit, but like, at least for 15 to 20 years. And where we were deployed, which is Rockingham in Perth, and a lot of people fucking, especially if you're from Perth, it's kind of the Penrith of Rockingham, of Perth. And I don't know if I'm from, fuck you tomorrow. I don't know if
we'll get to your story in a second, you two.
Yeah. I don't know if it's because I'm actually from Penrith, or I don't really care about that sort of stuff, but I actually considered Rockingham, I still do, it's a beautiful place to live. It's got an absolutely stunning beach. It's dolphins, yada yada. So we actually even went to Dom was trying to tell me about this thing, Axon, and there's people at work were telling him about it, and I was like, who, like, and what do they do, and like, where do you, an investment property, like, we're not fucking rich, we're not millionaires, like, an investment property is for boomers that like have equity, when they're wholly owned. That was my thought back then. We even went and viewed some properties, and as hard as I was trying to convince Dom, I was like, imagine living here, babe, and like, this will be our home, and we can just walk to the beach, and we can do this. And Dom's like, and what if I deploy out in 6 months? And I'm like, see ya. Like, no, I was like, it was something to think about, and I was like, yeah, And he kept sort of mentioning this, these people Axon. He's like, how about just watch their videos? Just watch their videos on, Facebook Live. And I'm like, on Facebook? Like, they just put fake videos on. Like, I was pretty skeptical. Hey, like in the beginning, I was. But like I said, like, don't hold me against it. Like, I was pretty old school. And to be fair, like, I hadn't really done I hadn't ever thought I would start my property journey by buying investment properties before I buy owner-occupier. I had it totally flipped on its head.
Most people do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because that's just how you just... I might be showing my age a little bit here. If anyone's fucking younger than 30, I'm 35. But, you're just kind of brought up to get in the machine to earn enough money to apply for a loan, to buy a house, and then you fucking sit in it for 30 years.
30-year mortgage trap, mate.
Yeah. And that's
certainly
just
what my family taught me. And,
it's what everyone's family tells them, And to be fair, like, my brother has a couple of investment properties under his belt, but like no one else in the family, and he never speaks about it. He's a fucking tight ass, and he won't give me any of his contacts or anything and whatever. But, so I said, okay, Facebook Live, let's look at these videos, and I had an hour commute between our house and I worked in Perth City at the time. So I thought, what else am I going to do on the train, on the way home?
These idiots.
Yeah. So I started watching them, and I started watching your lives, and I was in the background. I was one of those the creepers in the beginning. Like, my name didn't come up in the very beginning. I was just watching, and there wasn't many people in Axon back then. And I don't know if I'm fast forwarding here for you, Robbie, sorry. But I got home from work after a couple of weeks. It was a good 2 or 3 weeks. And I said to Dom, so everyone in Axon has served in the defense. And Dom goes, Dom was sold on you guys. Like, that's why I love them. They know all the things we can get, And I said, so who's Tamara? Because I fucking know her. I know that Tamara.
I know you.
Yeah. I'm like, I feel like I know her from somewhere. Like, and Dom's like, oh, you know everyone. Like, you've already like you probably do know her, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and I was just thinking about it, and it was a pure coincidence. I think a Facebook memory popped up or something, and I was like, holy shit, I worked with her in 2006 or whatever it was in the bloody Shangri-La.
Yes. So we worked in the Shangri-La Hotel in Sydney. I was up in level 36 in the bar up there before I got into events. And Will was running downstairs, front of house and front office. And he used to come up and sneak up and say hello. And
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
And
But
that was
Tamara
after
always
you
thought, man,
were already, sort of connected with Axon. Like it was,
yeah, and it's kind
that
of weird. I will admit that was the first softener to me. I was like, okay, I do kind of know someone there. Like it must be like there's real human beings in this company. So I'll
I
give
made
it a
it
go.
legit. I get
Yeah,
it.
I
yeah.
think,
It was
I think
all
we'll myself and Dan jumped on a discovery call with you. We call it a connection call now.
oh, okay.
What did you remember from that? Like we were going through a series of questions for you, almost like a little job interview. As everyone remembers, we don't take everybody. We need to make sure we're the right fit for you and us.
Yeah.
And from what I remember anyway, you were pretty standoffish still, even though you'd been softened a little bit by Tamara's inclusion. You watched the videos, you felt like you knew us reasonably well, but it was still like, no, we're not taking you on as a client until you really want to be there. So give us a bit of an insight about how that felt on your behalf.
Yeah. So I remember Dan. Everyone in Axon's pretty professional, and very knowledgeable what they do. And I felt like Dan was very professional, and he was like, almost had a, he was like, yes, rah, rah. And what personally, everyone has their own connections with the universe and everything. And I not everyone is the same, but I'm one thing that sold me on Axon almost immediately. And I was picking this up from the lives I had been watching, but I didn't know if it was real yet. This has got to do with the that discovery call, Rob. Is I fucking hate fakeness and this salesy stuff, and you go to these discovery calls, and even the discovery call, because we did the link first, and Robbie was almost straight onto it, like, yes, hi, can't wait to meet you. And I initially took that as, oh, it's already started, like the whole, it's so keen so quickly, like that's how I took it initially. I was like, here we go. Is this an automated response? And I was saying to Dom, I'm so skeptical. Like I said to Dom, he's probably got this cut and paste to like everyone that's done it today. And Dom's like, no, I think he's actually messaged us. This is his Facebook profile. And I'm like, oh, yes, it is. Like, I'm surprised his name isn't Robbie Axon, like something like that. So anyway, we went to the discovery call. Yeah, straight off the bat. And I can't remember what it was now, and I get it from my dad. Like, because this is a huge decision that you have to make, you know what I mean? And this discovery call for me, I could tell that my husband was already sold on you guys. So I felt a bit of weight on my shoulders that I knew it was up to me, that if I said no, Dom would be okay with that. And if I said yes, this was going to be the life that direction was going to take. Like you said before, tomorrow, like sliding doors moment, like this was that moment for us. So instead of being like, my personality is, instead of being all, oh, what do I do? I got really kind of, sort of tough. And I was like, tell me what you're going to do at this point. Like, when is it going to be for this? And like, what? I can't remember the questions I asked, but I really curveballed it. And Robbie didn't actually know the answer to some of them straight away, but the way that you responded kind of actually sold me to come on. He was like, what the fuck? Like, is this a joke? Like, what? And you just bounced off me straight away. And at the end of the call, I think that, I don't know if you still do it, but Robbie and Dan were like, okay, so which one of us? And Dan said, he's like this, and he kind of put his head down. He's like, I think I already know the answer, but like, at this point we ask who you want to go with. And I went, Robbie. Like,
mate, to be fair, I've done hundreds of connection calls with Dan over the years, and I'd probably say it's 65 go with him, 35 go with me, because I'm not for everybody, and I'm cool for that, by the way. Yeah, mate, please.
Yeah. Well, from there on out, it was, the skepticism didn't end for me. Like I had a lot of trouble thinking, how are we going to afford this? We've just signed up to this company that I decided at the minute, in the heat of the moment. Yeah, Robbie's fun. He'll do. And then after the call, I even thought, fuck, what have I done? Like, but every single call after that, and just this, I hate to, for a better word, like seamless professionalism. Like Robbie was there, quite personally in the beginning, but then we slowly got to meet the rest of the team, and just going through things with I want to shout out to Damien as well. It was just so, he's a completely different personality as well, but he allowed me and Dom to be ourselves still. Like I could tell he's not as like Robbie as everyone is, but
thank God. Thank God, because we can only have one Robbie.
Hey, Will, just quickly, before we get to that point, you guys were a long way away by your own admission for having enough cash set aside for a deposit and costs. And I said, listen, buddy, I reckon when we probably need to bank on 15 to 18 months of you guys saving at your current rate to get to a point where you're going to get that.
That's right.
And you're like,
yes.
oh, look, I might be able to get like a small amount of cash from my dad, from someone in your family. And I'm like, cool, that's going to supplement it. But I reckon we're at least 12 months away.
Yeah.
I remember Damo checked in with you probably 6 months later, and he comes in, he goes, I think Dom and Will are ready to go now. I'm like, what? And obviously, like I said, I was seeing you guys. You weren't going out to nice dinners all the time. Like you saw that little greenhouse on your plan, and it's almost like you went zoom.
Yeah.
We need to fucking do this now. And I can put these words in your mouth because I know this. You and I do talk similarly when we get on a bit of a vibe. Honey, we need to fucking do this now. Otherwise, why would we wait another 6 or 12 months down the track? We're only going to pay more. And you are definitely a massive success story of someone that didn't have very good money mindset and money habits when we first met you. But by fuck, you are like, you got it nailed very, very quickly, mate. And that's bravo to both of you.
Oh man, and like it was a little bit of a tribute to you guys, like clap back at you, because after we'd met you guys and everything, it was your service and your personality behind. It was the education that we received. Like there was so much we didn't know about where we had to get. And yes, you gave us like an X date to get to, but I kind of locked onto it. And you gave me, what was it that you used to say? Like the axon injection or some shit, like the property. What was that thing you used to say? Like little injection. Became like a bit of a junkie. I was like, I went down.
Shot of inspiration.
Shot of inspiration, yeah. And we just property. You know, like I started fucking like Dom and I made him. I taught him some Penrith things as well. Like we'd go out to dinner, but fuck, I'd have this bottle of water that was like kept everything cool. I'm like, so you pour the wine into this, babe. Then you fucking drink it on the train on the way into the city, and you're pissed already anyway. We've spent $3 from Aldi. You go out to lunch. Lunch is dinner's fucking Betty Burgers on the wharf. You just went out, you know, and we spent $22.
And I laugh at the Penrith stuff because I'm a Western Sydney girl too, so that's why I'm allowed to laugh.
That's why I said it before, yeah.
So we eventually got to a point where we found you guys a property, showed it all to you, packaged it all up, and then like. Tell us how things were for you guys throughout the build.
So that's a really good point to bring us back to, because we started to sort of, through the savings part, just to rewind a little bit, we became a little bit complacent. Like the stresses all kind of went away because we'll just save. And then when we got to that part, it sort of felt like it sped up again a little bit. And we all of a sudden, well, not so much Dom, I don't want to say he did, but I all of a sudden felt a lot of pressure again. Like I felt like, oh, this is real. You know, we've got all this money and it's about to go. But you guys, what would happen is, like, say Damo would say, okay, we found this block of land for you. And I'm like, where's Ripley? Like, what? Like, I was expecting fucking Fortitude Valley, like a little, 400 square something near the city. And he sort of would laugh and would say, no. But then the process that they took us through, seeing not just like the if maybes and coulda shouldas like that the government's promised, in because that's there in a little, that's what's going to happen. But he showed us what's already around and like educated and brought us back to the start of why we signed up to it. It's like, well, there's a school over here and there's a university over there and the Ipswich is just here. Because I don't know if we're telling anyone, but I was in Ripley. I just told everyone. That's where I don't know if that was a secret. I don't know.
You know what, buddy? It's suited your circumstances. It's not for everybody.
Yeah,
right?
It was absolutely perfect for us. And it was just exactly it was actually way under what we thought we were going to pay anyway. Like, you guys found us something that was, I think if by memory, it was close to $20,000 less than what you had made us for Robbie in the beginning, like it was. And so we were able to afford a little bit more time and wiggle room with some of the build stuff as well. So throughout the build as well, and this is the part that the pressures went away again, right? It started, and like the first invoicey thing and all that came through and all that. But so I thought a quick mention as well, like Deb was really cool as well through getting us the mortgage and stuff like that. She received some pretty highly strung phone calls from myself, and
she gets it all the time, mate. Finance is always the hard bit, brother.
She's so calming, though. She's really such a level-headed. She's kind of like everyone's mum. She just like takes you under a wing, and she looks after you. And she's just so good at explaining everything in a really easy to understand way as well.
Yeah. But back to the build process, so that was all good. But then it just felt like, honestly, and we tell everyone as well, like we almost forgot that we were building a house at some points. Like we were just going to work and doing our thing, and because we decided to continue saving throughout the build process because we wanted to do some stuff after it. And we're like, and lucky we did anyway because some things came up. But like we just, COVID was happening and all that, and we were hearing these fucking horror stories from people like building in Perth and stuff, and building on the East Coast. Like, because I'm from the East Coast, so like I think I had one friend that was trying to get out of building a property in Newcastle because it suddenly nothing was turning up and the building company went under, and they were ringing me, and my friend was like, so what's happening with your build, and I was like, oh, what's happening? Like, what is happening?
We're at frame stage. You were talking to Natalie at this stage, weren't you, mate? The amazing Natalie.
Yeah, and that was fucking sweet as, because the only time I'd really hear from her is because she'd ring and text us to check in and say g'day and the photo and the video and stuff. Yeah. And that was great. But then, like, if we got, my stress levels go like this to this really quickly with anything in my life. And we're plugging along, and we got a little, I used to call them like a cushy text from Nat, and it's like, oh, that's our house, oh, that's sweet. But then we get some huge invoice, and she's like, this is this. And I go, fuck, what? Like, what the fuck? But then I'd ring up Nat straight away, no matter what time of the day or night it was. And let's not forget Perth at some times of the year is 3 hours behind the East Coast. Yeah, I don't care. Like, I'd ring her, and she's like, "Night, kiddies. Sorry, Will. What? Like,
she's listening right now. She just made a comment. You can see. Yeah.
But like, she was there. She answered the phone. There was no like ring outs. Honestly, actually, didn't. I don't think it ever. I think once it rang out with Nat, and she rang us back about 5 minutes later, and it was really a kid falling over her shoulder, and
probably.
I was like, anyway, me, Nat.
This kid.
So we were just like she would have explained to you that you don't have to pay that 84,000. You just sign it, and the bank pays the builder.
But unfortunately, and that's right. But I was getting to that point. Every single time, Robbie, I was doing that every single time. But she always answered the phone. She almost preempted what I was going to ask, and she explained to me what's already been explained and everything. And it was just really calm and a cool, collected process. Like, everything just kind of went through, and then it felt like it didn't feel like it took 2 years from the beginning to the end. Like, it honestly felt like it was just kind of, that was happening, because I think we're living in Perth as well, but that was happening in Brisbane, and we're just doing our life in Perth. And then in the middle of everything, we get deployed up to Darwin as well. So I think if we were building a house on our own and doing everything ourselves, or even with someone else, where they call them like hybrid providers, where they do some stuff for you, but you got to do most of the legwork as well.
It's what most people do, mate.
Yeah, and that's what my brother went through as well. A lot of that stuff. Right. I honestly think I would have fucking shot myself. I don't know how people build houses. I don't know how they do it. You guys are insane.
Yeah. We are a bit.
Now,
that's lovely to hear about Nat. I'm sure she's stoked with that feedback.
You guys weren't. You didn't dodge any of the delays. Like, you guys got a few delays that came through with your build as well. Give us a bit of an idea. Like, if Nat's like, hey guys, there's going to be a delay with the tilers or the landscapers or the roofers or whatever it's going to be. Give us a bit of an insight into how did you feel every time you knew that there was going to be an extra month or so tapped onto the end of your build?
Yeah, like we did have a delay with almost every single thing that had to happen. But it felt like, to me, by the time Nat had come to us with the news, there was already a plan in place about when the new dates are going to be, or when the new estimate is going to happen. And I do. There was one major screw up it wasn't a major screw up, sorry, but the builder. It was because of COVID, and the country had locked up all of its imports for a little while, and that screwed up a bunch of stuff up. And when we found out there was a whole bunch of fittings, and half of it had arrived and half of it hadn't, or it was stuck in a barge somewhere or something. We kind of got wind from Nat straight away, and she said, "Don't worry, we'll sort it out." And me being me, I was like, "Well, I can't work. I can't tell me about it immediately, But I waited. I decided this time to wait for it, give us some time to do her job, And within about 2 days, I think it was definitely within the same week, she gave us a call, and she's like, "Oh, we've managed to negotiate with the builder to upgrade you to the next package, so that it doesn't fuck up the end part of the build." And I was like, "But why?" Me being me, I didn't say, "Oh wow, thanks." I was like, "But why? Like, why did they do that?" She's like, "Oh, because of the relationship that Axon has with them, and they didn't want to screw up we're already paying a premium for the service." And I was like, "How did you do that?" And she's like, anyway, you're welcome, Will. And I was like, oh, thanks, Nat. You know?
I would buy anything off that lady. She has got an amazing way to make you feel very special very quickly, and in a genuine, non-salesy, bullshitty, way. So I'm really glad you guys got that. I went out to your house a couple of weeks ago when it was just finished being done. I think the PC claim had been done, professional, the clean had been done. I knew that because there was a little sign on the thing that says, please remove your shoes. And I did a little video walkthrough of your house, and I know that's certainly been posted on our site. Perhaps, Noel, if you can maybe go back through our Facebook post and you can maybe even just chuck it in the chat to remind people what it was like. What did you think when you saw that for the first time?
Well, it was like, I really wanted to be there for that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? I can come over and do one of those videos that you do the keys thing and stuff in the kitchen. Yeah. I'm corny as fuck like that. I wanted to have
We've got quite a few coming up, actually. So, stand by. There you go. Check out that video.
We'll remake it.
We'll remake it. The house will be 3 years old, but we'll just clean up the
actually, whilst I've got you, Noah, can you please make sure that you pass on to D-Dub tomorrow? Can you give Will a non-Facebook version of that video so he can share it with his family and friends on YouTube or whatever it is?
I don't have it, because I wanted to enter that though. My experience of that, first of all, is because up here in Darwin, I've gotten a new job now where I'm a claims manager, and I'm like super busy at work. So like I'm pretty stressed and stuff all the time at work now, which is I'm not really used to that because I've had some kick easy jobs floating around with Dom, like on his deployments. So I'm stressed and shit. And I was just scrolling through Instagram, and I looked at the video hadn't played yet, when you're on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And immediately I thought, that's my fucking house. Like, what's happening?
That's my fucking house.
Yeah, what's going on? What's this about? So I was at work, and I thought, don't care, headsets in, and I played it. I was so excited. Like, I was just so, it was so nice to see after all. We've never, and I'm, like I said, I'm corny and stuff, but it was nice to have, like, Robbie yourself do it as well. Like, I feel like we've built up such a friendship through this whole thing. We've been through some stressful moments and some laughs and, and just having you walk through our house. And it was such a perfect video as well. So the ones that do have Instagram, I immediately shared it to, I sent it to my mum, and I spent like fucking half a day trying to get her how to play it on Instagram. And she's like, do I have Instagram? And I'm like, oh my God, yes. But, moved on from that. That's why I want the copy. But I sent it to, this is what I wanted to tell you, Rob, is I actually sent it to a close friend of mine that lives in Dubai, and she's British. Anyway, and I said, look, this is my house, like she's one of my best mates. And she watches it and she goes, she thought for the first part I was joking and it was a parody. But she replies back in a video message, and because she's British, she's like, just wash the kids off in the shower and then with the hose. And I'm like, no, that's how Robbie talks. And I didn't. I'm like, and I got offended on Robbie's behalf because I was like, can you just fucking settle? I was showing you my house. This is my friend. So
I actually mimicked the exact same thing when I heard it, because the videographer's desk is next to mine, and I heard it playing, and I went, what was you talking about then?
Right, you bloody go over there, you wash the kids in the shower, you do it all, you made
complete sense to me.
He gets on a roll when he's doing these. When Robbie does a walkthrough
with no rehearsal, I just fucking do it, and I'm like, that'll do. It's free, and I'm walking out.
Sometimes we do need to cut things because I'm like, oh, he went on a tangent there.
Mate, what about those soft close bloody cupboards in the kitchen and stuff, mate? Magnificent.
So the soft close cupboards in the kitchen, I think we already knew about, which was fantastic. But there was a couple of surprises in there, which I'm sure you'd have told us at one point or whatever. I don't know, but there was the storage in the garage. We were like. Yes. We don't have that. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's such a good idea as well. Like, to have, because every garage you just pile shit up in the corner and rah. But I will tease Queenslanders for one thing, sorry. Putting the fucking laundry in the garage, like, apparently that's normal. I don't know. Like,
I love it, mate, because when there's something stuck in the dryer, it goes tick, 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 tick. My fucking PTSD goes through the roof, and I'm like, stop that fucking noise.
Or it's in the garage,
I can't hear it.
Well, it's Queensland, just hanging on the fucking line, you lazy bastard. Like, it's not
yeah, we get the sun.
Well, we get a lot of rain up here, mate. So yeah.
Oh yeah, in El Nino, whatever the fuck. But no, it was really, really good, and just the quality of the finishes and like going through the house. Like Dom and I watched that video, and one of the things that Axon taught us as well, and if you when we're wrapping up, like to way back in the beginning when I had to flip my investment journey up the right way as it is these days, is not owner occupier then invest, which is invest and then owner occupier later in life. Is one of the things, Robbie was saying to us is like, don't use your emotion when you're investing. Don't get emotionally attached to the house. And that's something it was a learning curve for me that Axon really helped me through. Watching that video though, and I feel like if you retested me, I'd fail because I'm emotionally attached to it now. So a wet area, go hose the kids down, like fucking have a barbecue with the hookup gas. I didn't know we had that. And I'm like, look how nice the lawn is. Like, what the fuck? I want this house. I want to move in. I'll pay myself rent. I'll move in.
So good.
This
is what I say, mate. This is my coaching philosophy. And as we will wrap up in a second, this is that you're only allowed to love 3 things. Like I want you to love the house that you bought. I do. But ultimately, you're only allowed to love 3 things. And I want to say this through you. I want you to love the fact that you're doing something now which your financial future is going to love you for. I want you to love the location that you buy in because ultimately that's going to go up in value. Your $448,000 property is now worth pretty much $600,000.
Yep.
As Nat would say, you're welcome. Right?
Yep.
And the third thing is I want you to love the fact that there is another family that's going to live in that house and they're going to love living in your house because you bought the right style, type, fixtures and fittings, spent the right money, and they're going to pay it off for you. You're going to provide a roof over your head for that other property, for that other family. They're the only 3 things that as a red-blooded investor, you should love.
Yeah.
All the other bits and pieces can sort of, come and go.
Yeah.
So
that's so
true.
Good. And it's exciting. This is a stepping stone for what's to come.
Yeah. But we're Axon. We're with Axon for life. We 100%. If you could look at me, 28 months ago and hear myself say that to myself, like I just wouldn't have believed me. You know what I mean? I could have been like, yeah, no, like it's not like cringy. Yes, it is. Yeah, I'll give you that. But only you tomorrow because we got
I'll take it.
I know we've got over an hour. Like I'll be super quick. Like anyone that's thinking about it, just do yourself a favor and set up for that meet, whatever you call it now. The
discovery.
Now we do the connection call.
Connection call. Who did you fucking
I don't know if it goes like that.
Let's connect.
Connect with Robbie, everyone. So Tamara might also connect with you. No, it's. Oh, I could have gone anywhere with that second, but yeah, that's it's honestly, I will never fucking go back. And Dom's over there nodding his head like we are. It's going to. We're on a bit of a journey at the moment. Like we've got other things happening and stuff, but it's locked in. Like we are so happy and yeah, fucking do it.
We're always going to be there for you, brother. We absolutely will. Dan, we've got to go. Please send an email to us, buddy, and I'll get back to you on your email there. Please be careful when you've got a contract. It's very, 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 very precarious times out there at the moment, mate. So I do want to have a chat to you about that. Will Grigor,
info@axonproperty.com.au. We'll answer any additional questions. There we go.
Will, you are a fucking superstar. Thank you so much for coming to share. I saw one comment down here I want to pass on. It was from fucking Outbart on it. It's like from Amana Lewis. Ryan and I are frothing on Will. What a legend. Mate, I know that you've been in this chat many, many times yourself. I know that you have loved passing on some of the content about listening to the podcast and all that sort of stuff. So, mate, thank you for joining Axon Property Group. I owe you dinner when you come and see us. Thanks, brother. See you later, team. Have a great night. Thanks for everyone.